Okay, so we have to really consider now on how to go about with upcoming characters, because even though technically it's not multiple characters dropping in a close time frame, it's kind of going back to its regular schedule where it's kind of 2 weeks apart, which is basically just an extra week if there was two characters. So just to put it in light terms, October's going to have two characters, then we're going into the half anniversary. Now, I don't know about you guys, but my plan of action is to go crazy whale mode on the half anniversary. So I kind of want to, again, do how I approached with Harper and Charlotte. I just kind of went about and got them at that sweet spot for me personally, right? And that is by just getting them to A3. Again, with Charlotte, I could have been content with A1, but kind of wanted to max out her ultimate, well, get the maximum potential out of her ultimate, so that's why I've got Harper and Charlotte both at A3, and then I'll be very comfortable with applying them onto the rate up banner near the end of October when they should be in the banner, and then from that is how I will go about to get in their additional dupes. Plus, really also something that I've mentioned beforehand that we need to focus on is the new Workshop Brilliant Light. And this is, I've done a whole video on it saying that how the developers made a huge W move by implementing the wind element. I can cater to my wind element because it's been done up quite nicely. My characters are ready to rock and roll. They're quite easily going through Vulcan, so hopefully we can get past Baron. So I don't need to prioritize my dark element as much, knowing that I can cater to the wind element to get the new content done, so that way I can power up my characters even stronger and prepare myself for the more difficult content to come. So this is the timeline on what we're looking at. Now again, everything that I'm doing, and I hope most of you guys are going to be looking at it, especially again if you're free to play, or especially if you're free to play, and obviously if you're a light spender and whatnot, this is our end goal. We need these items. These are the items that are going to help us out progress through our power level, make us more stronger, give us the buffs that we need, so that way we can get on with the more difficult story to come, the rogue event, well, whatever this is, whatever they're cooking with this goddamn boss, that's the next piece of content that we got to prepare for, because there's no way in hell that is going to be a cakewalk. Down, and especially with where the power level is heading, right? Because we're now going into that 1 million margin of things. I do believe that this right here is going to be something after the Workshop Brilliant Light. This is our next goal. This is the next goal to prepare for, of course. So we got to get strong, and through that we got to get past the newest Workshop Brilliant Light and get these cores going for our characters. And from that we have to cater to certain elements. Again, coming back to the timeline. Slightly off on the date here, of course. It's the 10th of October when Gina and the Demon King daggers are going to be releasing, and when Kaisel's going to be releasing. Gonna unlock Kaisel, working on your shadows. I should also mention this, working on your shadows, as you guys know, as you awaken them and whatnot, it does help out with your overall power level. That's why I decided to max out Big Rock. I've been using Big Rock a lot, and so I invested in getting him to the Elite Knight, and obviously I'm saving some of these shades because I'm kind of low onto them, but if Kaisel's worth investing into, then we're going to do so and increase our power level and actually get stronger through the shadows. So that's going to be probably the biggest investment through the next update. Now I say that, obviously with the Demon King daggers we can cater to the West Wind, which some might want to consider doing. It just really depends on how many dupes that we need for this, for it to be better than the West Wind. That's all I'll say on that part. Now, this in October time, we've got Teach and we've got Gina. Now, Gina, more than ever in my eyes, because beforehand when I made my video talking about her, I was like, maybe she's going to be light. Obviously, we had word that she was changed to fire typing, to say that she was going to be a mage that was providing healing, buffing, and scaling off from attacks. So basically being a support mage. Being a support mage for light, not needed. Not really needed. We again, with how the team setup is looking like for the light team, with Chayen and Min, of course, we are very, very good with that team, of course. I mean, in the future, it's going to happen. Characters are going to come in, potentially replacing or just being an alternative choice. that, you know, that's a no-brainer. But one of I think the only thing that we really need right now is that complete package for the fire element, because obviously Dark is coming in hot with their final unit that we need, so that way they're done. That being said, the last change that we heard of was that Gina was a fire type support mage. If she doesn't come in as a fire type support mage and they commit to being her a light typing, I'm going to pull what I did on the 2 girls, and I'm going to be getting Gina in that sweet spot of dupes, maybe it being A1, A2, A3, who knows, and then I'm just going to leave it there. That's that, because I'm telling you right now, with October being 2 characters and it being 2 weeks apart, because yeah, Gina drops on the 10th. If they commit to the 23rd, then it's 2 weeks apart, right? So yeah, roughly around 2 weeks, of course. But I think what needs to happen is Gina has to be a fire element. So if they commit to light, then I think going forward with the upcoming banners, it might be wise to maybe skip, maybe not summon as much. When it comes to the dark support coming in, just to kind of see on what she will be providing will determine whether or not if you want to go for the initial copy or whatnot. Because I mean, having support characters for this game will go a long way in terms of not just helping out the element, but in team fight situation, and just kind of supporting other characters. I mean, prime example with Mei Lin, I mean, well, no, this is a solid combinations to have to kind of score more points and whatnot, right? You know, this is something that a lot of people are utilizing. So support characters can go a long way in helping us out in multiple scenarios. So that's why it might be more advisable for Isla, of course. And then she also does help out the Dark Element, which kind of need that support healer type touch for that specific typing, of course. That's if Gina is light, by the way. And again, it's just kind of weighing up on making it easier for us to kind of skip, get Gina at a later time. God knows what she's going to be doing. I mean, seeing how Min is working, especially with the buff that they provide him, how he works with the ultimate booster and the power gauge generator that he is, of course. You know, it's tough competition, right? And plus he's got the punishment debuff going on, so that's going to be pretty solid, especially with what his passives can do in support furthermore for Chai and crits, etc., of course. So that then furthermore caters to that Gina has to be fire typing. If she's not fire typing, then I think for the most part it will be a lot of skips going on for the very beginning. Going to Isla, I feel like some people then will cater to maybe going for her, maybe going the initial copy, A1, A2, it just really depends on how many dupes that we need for her. But if her initial kit is solid, just get the initial copy, and at that point on, we will fully cater to the half anniversary. It's as simple as that. Now, this is where things get a little bit interesting. So after the Baron content, and we get our cause, the roguelike dungeon. This son of a gun. This is the next piece of content, and so this is kind of what we need to cater to. And so this is where Gina comes in, because if Baron is Dark and Wind, it kind of puts the Gina content in that sticky situation of I can skip her. I mean, she's not exactly going to be helping me out with the upcoming content to get stronger. That's when the correlation comes to whatever they've got cooking up with this son of a gun. Looks very menacing, we'll say that much. It says light plus something else. I think it's going to be light and fire. If Gina is committed to the fire element, then I think that's the route they're going to take. Unless if Gina, for whatever reason, is light, and they commit to Thomas being light, then it's going to be light and dark. I think that's the route. But I would much prefer it to be light and fire. So Gina will affect it. Our light team is already good. Thomas drops, absolutely mollywops this dungeon. Because I believe this is dropping for October, right? And so in November, when the half anniversary drops, Thomas comes in. And I'm sure this man is going to be possessing a lot of power. So that's kind of how to look at it. So I think the best route to take, I think for most people, it might be just going falling for Teach, because we don't know what the situation is for Gina. If it is fire, then the fire support mage is definitely worth picking up. If it's light, save it for the custom draw. Isla will be worth pulling for, because we need that Dark Hunter support 100%, and then at that point on, yeah, it'll be a clear victory for Thomas. And then from all of that, Baron will be doable, and then that will then prepare us, especially with the release of Thomas, to take on whatever they've got cooking up with this roguelike dungeon event. So not sure what's going to be happening here, but I think that's kind of what we're looking at. But it really comes down to on whether or not if Gina is going to be light or fire. So yeah, I think fire is going to be the best route if we want to kind of get back onto the swing. I think with the game on releasing characters that we need now, and then for later, for example with the December content, it's just kind of switching up and adding more to the element.